Yeah, man, much better.
Yeah.
Come up some more in the camera, though. Okay, we're live. Hi, good night. Welcome to Boss Lady Live once again. It is Monday, October 19th, and we are here to share once again riveting information, in-depth conversation. You're going to get all the information, not all, but any question you want to ask, just ask us. It's about breast cancer tonight. We have all four of us are, let me say, are thriving since our diagnosis of breast cancer. Tonight I have the pleasure of having three other ladies with me, which I'll introduce shortly. We have apologies from Miss Tara Playfair. She's unavailable tonight. So tonight we're speaking of from diagnosis to thriving. Please like, share, subscribe, share with a friend. We're giving you a few minutes to come on. Like and share. You don't want to miss the information that we have. By the way, Happy Heroes Day. It's a holiday. And I know many of you are busy and you could be anywhere else at this time. But I know for sure many persons promised me that they would have tuned in tonight because this is information that can save lives. So let me go from top to bottom with my intros. One sec. I put my phone too far. Hold on. I left my phone. Okay. The thing about live.
Live.
Ladies, are you good tonight? Welcome.
I'm good. I think we're all good. Thanks for having us, Sandy. Yes, we're
Thank
good.
you, Sandra. Wonderful. All right. So I'll start from top to bottom. And from top we have Carolynd Graham. And she is the current Reach to Recovery chairman. And Reach to Recovery is the breast cancer support group at the Jamaica Cancer Society. And she has been the chairman since 2012. Now, I don't know if you are aware or you should be aware because they have several activities that happens in the month of October. And Carolynd is here to share her journey as well as to tell us a little bit about the work that Jamaica Reach to Recovery is doing. I'm a little bit off center in my camera. Okay. So Miss Graham, she she did an annual mammogram from she was 45, right? At the age of 45. They saw grains of sand appearing in her routine mammogram in August of 2004. She did a biopsy in the September and a mastectomy by the October. Miss Graham is on treatment currently. Well, at the time she did tamoxifen for 5 years. She has never seen an oncologist and she did no radiotherapy or chemotherapy. That is Carolynd, and welcome, Carolynd. We'll introduce as we go along. It's wonderful to have you, and
Wonderful to be here.
it is my pleasure. I have worked with Carolynd many years. You came after me, or you came after me? You came after me, right?
You were there when I came. You were there
Right.
when I came in and embarrassed myself.
And then next we have Raquel Lawla, my friend and we're not competitors. We are in the same trade. We are beauticians,
Yes.
right? And we are thrivers together. I won't say we went through tears together, but we certainly um were friends talking about, the journey, and I shared my journey with her and helped her to go through her journey because Raquel, she found her lump in 2013 and she did a double mastectomy and she also did reconstruction as well, right?
Yes.
And when she started her treatment, she said she radically underestimated chemotherapy. But she will tell you about her journey, right? And so from 2013 until now, that's how many
7.
years?
7.
7 years. So she's 7 years thriving. And then next, we have the awesome, the effervescent, the bubbly, the deeply spiritual, the guru of relationships and relationship advice, my friend, I'm pleased to call her my friend, Kamala McWhinney. She was
Hi again,
she
everybody.
was also diagnosed in 2013 at the age of 30, and she had a stage 2 ductal carcinoma. So therefore, we're twin sisters in that event. So okay, so we'll start with Carolynd. And Carolynd, I just want you to give us an overview, just an overview of your journey, and then tell us a little bit about Reach to Recovery and your work that you do at Reach to Recovery.
Thank you very much for having me here, Sandra. My journey really started off very simply. I did a regular mammogram. I have no history of cancer in my family. And when I was told after a regular mammogram that they saw something like grains of sand, I, of course, said to them, something is wrong with the film,
Mhm.
because I knew that I didn't have a problem. And I said, do it again. So they did it again. And can you believe the grains of sand are still there?
Mhm.
So my gynecologist was Dr. Thwaites, the husband of Dr. Denise Thwaites. And
Who
he
is the
called me,
founder of
said,
Reach to Recovery, by the way?
that's
Yes.
right.
Mhm.
And he said to me, he called me and said, you need to come in and see me. And of course, I said, see you for what? He says, well, I told you that you saw these things in the thing. And I said, okay, what next then? He says, oh, we need to do a biopsy. And I said, what is that? You know, these doctors tell you you need to do things as though you know what they're talking about.
Right.
So I said, what is that? He says, oh, it's not a difficult thing. Just go down and they do a little needle thing. And so off I went and they did this little needle thing. And then he called me again and he says, you need to come and see me and bring your husband with you. Now, that is a strange kind of request. So I said, all right, okay. Went in, took this poor husband with me who does not understand what is happening. He's as in the dark as I am. And we sit down there. And he says to me, um, the results have come back and it's cancer. Can I tell you, I heard nothing else? I went
Yep.
totally deaf.
Yep. I
I,
can relate.
I saw the mouth moving, but it didn't mean nothing to me. I didn't know what he was saying. At the end of it all, he said to me, well, you need to decide what you're going to do because everybody tells you if you have cancer, you have a lump. There is this thing that there must be a lump. Well, I had no lump. Therefore, I had no option. It wasn't a case of removing a lump, it was a case of removing the
Right.
breast.
Right.
So we left there and then we sat down and we said, well, went home and we talked about it. And we said, well, if we need to do this, we need to do this as quickly as possible. But how do we tell the children what is going on? Because this
Right,
is
because we
something
forget
totally.
we tend to forget about that part. The fact
That's
that we
right.
now have to go home and tell the family.
Tell the people. And
Right.
this is totally out of left field. This is not something anybody expected. So actually, what we did was, oh, let me tell you this. Today is my 16th anniversary, the 19th of
Oh,
October,
fantastic.
Wow,
2004.
amazing.
Amazing. You see? You know,
Since we're together.
we're on point. We're on target.
Yes, yes,
Congratulations.
thank you. But then we came home and we said, all right, let's go. What we did was we took the whole family down to Little Ochi on the Monday because the 19th was a Tuesday in 2004. So on the Monday, the whole family went down to Little Ochi. We had a wonderful day. Then we came back home and we said, okay, now we have a family meeting. Sat everybody down, told them the situation, which gave them just a day because I was going to hospital, the surgery the following day. So there was no long period of, oh my Lord, what is going to happen? We told them on the Monday. I went and I had surgery on the Tuesday. I came out on the Thursday. Had a mastectomy. I had tamoxifen for 5 years because it came back estrogen positive. And that is the end of breast cancer on me in terms of my physical situation. What I would say
So
here, though,
so you did not require any further, or you decided not to do anything further.
no, I was told I didn't need to do anything further. They said I didn't need radiotherapy. I did not need chemotherapy. All I needed was an estrogen suppressant for 5 years, which was tamoxifen.
So that would
But
mean that you would probably have been like a stage 0 or thereabout.
zero. The
Right.
best stage to be,
Right.
zero. But can
Right.
I just say something here, which is my personal opinion? The fact that my cancer came back estrogen positive. Before that, I was on hormone replacement treatment, which was estrogen treatment. And I personally think that my presentation of cancer came as a result of hormone replacement. But that is my opinion.
Mhm.
Nobody can convince me that's not it. When I said it to my gynecologist, he says, yeah, but it may not be. Yeah, but it may be as well. So
Right.
I'm just throwing that out there so other persons can be aware that this is a possibility.
Right.
Okay, so after surgery, well, before I did surgery, this is why I said I went to the Reach to Recovery meeting and Sandra was there and I embarrassed myself. She probably doesn't remember it, but everybody
I
else who was there then
don't
remembers it. Uh, I went to the meeting. As I said, surgery was the 19th of October. So I went to the REACH meeting in October because Dr. Thwaite said, you don't know anything about breast cancer. I can't tell you about breast cancer. You need to go speak with persons who have had that experience.
remember. Right.
And I founded this group called REACH, so go and see them. So I went to the meeting in October before I had surgery. And it really was an interesting experience. I don't know what you expected. You sort of expected people to be there looking very sad, very distressed, very down. But that wasn't what I saw. There
Mhm.
were women there who looked cheerful, they were on top of things. And I didn't weep, I bawled.
Mhm.
I went on very badly in that meeting. But but after that, I decided that seeing them, actually seeing persons who had been down this road, reassured me that I could do it too.
Right.
And that really has been my mantra since that. If I can do it, you can do it. If you can do it, I can do it. And that is what Reach to Recovery does. It's a
Okay.
case of look at us. We
Hmm.
have done it. You can do it.
Okay. All right. So let us go to Raquel and then we'll come back to Reach. All right. So Raquel, it's over to you.
Thanks, Sandra, and it's an honor to sit in here with Sandra and Caroline and Kamala. So in 2013, January morning of 2013, I felt a lump. It was very painful and itchy. So I keep going to check on this lump, and I was told it's nothing. I went back in March, which is my standing appointment for a mammogram because my sister before me, 5 years before me, was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
Okay. So I become more vigilant. So I'm checking. So the May of the same year, I went back and they said it's a cyst. And they aspirated the cyst. And there was no other further tests done on the cyst. So I keep going back to her and I keep telling her it's itching and it's very painful and I don't like how it feels. So I went to my surgeon and I asked him for a referral. I said to him, I need this thing to be biopsy. So now I am at my fourth visit now and I'm getting on the edge. So I really needed thing to be checked. So I asked them again and they decided, yes, we're going to do the biopsy. So I got the referral and I sat on it for a while because I wanted children to go back out to school. So I went in around the second week in September 2013 and I got the biopsy done. And I waited for 2 weeks for the result. So she called, I was like 5 minutes away from her. I drove around and I went into her office and I saw the tears coming down her eyes and I knew what it was. And I hugged my doctor and I tell her it will be okay.
Hmm. You
But
are telling the doctor it would be okay.
yes, yes, and nothing was wrong. Well, when I got in my car, I
Hmm.
called my surgeon and I said, "Where are you?" And he said, I'm at 23, but I can meet you at my office." When I got into that car, I don't know how it get to university, but I know I ball. And from driving from Stanton Terrace to the university hospital, all I can remember that day was the tears and nothing else. Everything was blank. Until to today day, I can tell you nothing else about that activity around driving to the university hospital. So I got there and we sat down and we talked about what are my options, am I going to do, and the do's and the don'ts. And he said, "You have to find a team." I found a team and we waited on the result again to come back from Miami to see what stage or what are the procedure to go from there. But we decided, I got the option laid out on the table and the test them to be done, everything. But around everything, I'm going to tell you, stress have a lot to do with all of this because I was at the height of everything. Both my study, my companies was doing well. I couldn't complain, and the stress was way up there. And we got the result back and everything, and I decided that since that I wanted to have new breasts after having children, so I said, "You're not funny. This is the way I'm gonna get them." But let me tell you, Sandy, after doing all the tests, guys, I couldn't remember nothing. You know, when I start remember things and things start coming back clearly. When I finished all the tests like the bone scan, the MRI, all of those things, and I was on my way home, and I was on Waterloo Road. That is when I start remembering the events or anything dropping. By the time I was married, so I called my husband and I said to him, "We need to talk and we need to put things into place for the children," just like Caroline said.
Hmm.
Um, my eldest at the time, I think he was about turning 18, 19, Matthew, and Daniel was just going into first year at Campion, and my daughter was maybe around 9 at Immaculate Prep. And I mean, when I look at those little faces, I know I have to fight. But let me tell you something. All the event up to chemo, it was like more a mental situation I was dealing with more than a critical
Mhm.
situation. My life changed. I look at everything different. I lost friends. I fight doctors to tell them this is what I want and not what they think. So you have to be strong-minded about what you really want when you're going through this, because what I find, people will push things on you, and that's not how it works.
Mhm.
You know, the steps them towards everything wasn't clear for us. You know, they're telling you what you should do, or not what best for you, or what you're telling them what you think you want for yourself. Um, but in the long run, I think I've found the best team right here in Jamaica. Although we have to be pushy, Kamala will tell you, with things that we wanted to do. So after I did 6 months of chemo, tamoxifen for 5 years, and then now I'm on something else. I don't even learn the name of it yet. That is where I am at with that. I tell
Okay.
her one more year with it. I don't want to learn the name yet.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm on that after the chemo, but chemo was rough. I think I had a room up by Tony Tweet for a little while. That's where I moved in one at a time. Surgery, you were there, Sandy.
Mhm.
You were there with me. Kamala was there with me through chemo. It's a team effort, and it's a life changing event. But you have to have this, you have to have the will, you have to have the drive to fight. And my driving force was my children until today. They are everything to me. And I had a good support team. Thanks, Kamala. Thanks, Sandy. And I had my mother and my faith. First of all, my faith. And I'm ever grateful for all the people that I have met on this journey.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna leave it there, and then we're gonna come back to you later on to tell, to just to ask
Yeah,
the specific questions, because I'm sure our audience is gonna ask questions shortly. Cause Kamala, over to you, my darling.
So, as you mentioned, Sandra, I was 30, just turned 30 in May. And I just started having, maybe in September or so, just started having this persistent itching in my left breast. And I remember one day being on the couch, just watching TV, and I was scratching the itch, and I felt a lump. So I said, maybe it's one of the structures in the breast, that is supposed to be there. So I checked the right breast, and there was not a corresponding structure in that area. So then I started to mentally freak out like something is wrong. I was living in Montego Bay at the time. I'd moved there for my first job, and it was a stressful time. So I said to myself, look here, too much things are going on in my life right now. I can't take this up right now.
Mhm.
So I'll go to the doctor soon. So I took about maybe 10 days or so to bring myself to the doctor. Went and the doctor examined it, gave me some hopeful but subjective, feedback, like I don't think it is this because XYZ. But thankfully, I didn't want to stick with I don't think, right? So we went, of course, into doing an MRI. And I'll never forget the day getting back the MRI result. Well, when I went to do the MRI, it was October. So it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month in a radiology center. All the all the ads and the music and the songs are playing on loop, on repeat, on all the monitors in the thing. And I remember this song. I can't remember the name. I think it's Reba McIntyre,
Mhm.
the country singer.
Mhm.
Reba had done a song that year, and the song was entitled "I'm Gonna Love You Through This." And the song was just playing over and over and over in the radiology center. And I remember saying to God, God, Lord, please don't let this be my experience. I went in, did the MRI, and left. And then they called me back maybe the next day or 2 days after to get the result. And I remember the line at the bottom of the results because I open it because I have this philosophy, Sandra, that my scan, it's about my body. I have to read it
Yes.
first. So because I have a kind of a biochemistry background, I thought, I've got this. I can understand this. So I'm reading through, and it seemed like everything was normal, except for the last line at the bottom, which said, "Mass in left breast, strongly suspicious for malignancy." And
Wow.
I was on the phone with one of my best friends at the time,
Mhm.
and the two of we just start laugh. It's the furthest thing from being
Laugh.
funny. We were laughing because we could not process what on
Mm-hmm.
earth is this.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I went to my doctor. The doctor said, "Okay, biopsy time." Did the biopsy, was waiting for the results, and then heard I had to do the biopsy again, which was devastating because the process was not fun because the results were inconclusive. As it
Right.
turned out, on October 18th, 2013, which was yesterday, was my 7th year
Yeah.
anniversary. So I'm one day ahead of you, but several years behind you, Caroline, right? It's the birthday of one of my longest friends. On that day, I got the results that it's actually breast cancer. I remember my doctor calling me into his office and saying, "Kamala, the fact that I called it to come in, it's not good news, right?" And I said, I can imagine. But you see, from I felt the lump, Sandra, I feel like I was mentally processing the possibility of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in the office, I had questions more than an emotional response. And he was shocked. He was saying, "Kamala, I've never seen anybody take it like this." I was there engaging him, asking him, "Okay, what do we do? What do we know? Is it spread to anywhere else, etc."
Right.
And when I started to cry, when the emotions really boxed me, was when I got into my car to drive home and I thought of my mom.
This is surreal. Anyway, continue. I'll tell you why I said that. Yes.
Because my mother is, I am her only child. She calls me her one egg. And I knew that this would just shatter her. So when I was thinking of, oh my God, this is not just about me going through this. I'm gonna have to call my mother and tell her. She was in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
Town. The emotions hit me. When I went into my car now and I was trying to drive home, there was a song on the radio by Yolanda Adams. The battle is not yours, right? The battle is the Lord's.
Mm-hmm.
I started to cry again. I said, "Kamada, you can't drive and cry. So you need to wipe your eyes and get home." So I got home, called mom, and that whole journey started. So it was a shot from the blue for me because there was no family history. Just turned 30, barely have breast. In my mind, I was fairly healthy. I was just like, what is this? Why is this? So the journey, I mean, I would never wish breast cancer on not even my worst test of enemy, but having bucked up out there in the chemotherapy room, right? Early in 2014, and having had a sister to walk through the journey with me, to this blessed day, I get emotional thinking about it because the bond that we have is just,
Mm-hmm.
it was God sent. Because sometimes
Right.
we love you most, they understand the symptoms and they understand how chemo hard on an intellectual
Absolutely.
level. But when you have somebody who know what you mean when you say you feel sick, even though you're not sick,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a huge difference. So
Yes.
Yeah.
it was definitely an up and down journey. Our doctors, we got up in their faces quite often, right? But it has been, I mean, since the end of surgery and chemo, the kind of hard treatments, I'm very grateful for where, myself and Althea have been going, just trying to live our lives one day at a time. Because I say to people, it could be cancer, it could be a bus hit you down, it could be COVID, it could be anything. So my mantra has been, Sandra, just live fully. That's it. That's the biggest lesson I've learned. Just live fully.
Well, it's so funny. I asked both of you separately, not knowing the connection until just now.
I realized I was laughing to
And
myself.
so it's blowing my mind. And another thing is that our stories are so similar. So my story now, because I'm the grandmother of you all,
Oh yeah.
right? So my diagnosis was in 1999, right? So I'm 21 years in.
Wow.
Yes. And,
Wonderful.
you know, my story was quite similar to yours. No, I have a habit of, I have this comfort thing that when I'm watching TV, I kind of put my hand in my breast. Not that I'm feeling it myself now, people. Don't get it wrong, right? But I have this, this kind of comfort thing. Some people rub the edge of a pillow. Some people you do
Yeah.
twist their hair. I have this habit of like having my hand. It's kind of comforting. So no, let me back up a bit. 1991, I found a lump in the left breast. Took it out. Took it out, and it was benign. So from 1991 to 1999, I've been doing my self breast examination. So every month you check, you don't see any differences and stuff. Anyway, this particular evening, I was watching TV, rubbed my hand on my chest area. It was not in my breast tissue. It was in my chest wall.
Hmm.
So when I felt it, it felt like muscle. But that time I big at the gym and I work out enough and so I say, what muscle up there so? And then when I checked the other side, it was not the same. So I said, no man. So I called my girlfriend Andrea and I said, Andrea, kind of feel a little raised in the left breast, in the left chest. And she said, something, Sandra, you better go and check it out. I'm saying, yeah, man. About 2 days later, she called. You call the doctor yet? I said, no. So she said, all right, tell you what, I'm going to call and make the appointment for you, and you go for the appointment. So, I went to Dr. Guthrie as I normally do. I just got to Dr. Guthrie. He says, what you here for now? And I pretty much told him, well, happy. And I pretty much, you know, told him that I felt this thickening. So he did a request for a test, went to Dr. Clark, did a mammogram. Of course, it came back negative because it was not in the fatty parts of the breast where the compression is done. For anybody who have ever done a mammogram, they compress your breast tissue, and so the chest wall would not have been in the film.
Mhm.
So anyway, put on back my clothes, come off the table, and Dr. Clark said, "Oh, your face looks so. You don't look like you're so happy." I said, Dr. Clark, that what I felt wasn't there before. And that's why it's important for you to do your self-breast examination. And he said, all right, take out back your blouse and go back on the table and put my hand on it. And that's exactly what I did. And he said, something, I'm going to do a ultrasound. So it was the ultrasound that actually picked up the area of mass, because I would have gone home with a clean mammogram. And so he said, we're going to do a needle biopsy. So Dr. Alexander came in and she did a needle biopsy. And from I see them face, I know that something wasn't so right. So anyway, 2 weeks later, Dr. Guthrie went on vacation, so I had to go somewhere else for the results. I went by myself because, you know, part of me was saying, yeah, it might be, and a part of me was saying, maybe not. And I went to the doctor's office, waited quite a long time. It was about 2 weeks after because I didn't hear anything from them. So when I went and he called me in his office, it's somebody that I know. So he says to me, "Oh my, it's you?" And I'm like, what did he mean by that? So anyway, he said, "Sit down there." Because although he saw the name, I don't think he made a connection. So I sat down there and he said to me, "Well, I have good news and I have bad news. Which one you want first?" I don't answer him. So he says, "Well, the bad news is you have breast cancer. The good news is we seem to have caught it early. So I'm going to send you over to Dr. Smith, Granville Smith, and he'll deal with the rest of it. So walk from Gyna Associates, which is a very short walk, to Medical Associates, which seemed like forever. I was processing at the time, went over to Dr. Smith, and he said he just got some bad news, and that's when the tears kind of started rolling down. He says, okay, go up on the table, and I went up on the table, and he said, okay, did you not see these notes underneath your arm? Now, all my hearing of breast cancer and stuff, I've never been told to feel underneath my armpit or feel my neck area if there are any lumps, any raises, anything at all. So I felt what we call wax and cannon, right? That's what was underneath my arm. So he said, what are you doing next week, Tuesday? That's what you mean. He says, next week, Tuesday, would like to do surgery. I said, no, no, no. I'm a businesswoman. I have to make sure that my store is all right before I lie down in any hospital. It's not going to happen next week. So he says, okay. He's put me immediately on tamoxifen. The tears just roll on and never start bawling. Now, like Kamala, or was it Raquel? So when I hit the car, when I get up back and I go outside and I sit on the car, I swear to you, I screamed like for about 2 minutes straight. And then I called my best friend, Cassandra, and I said, because I told her I was going for the results. And as I told her, she said, all right, I'm coming now. Now the drive from there to where my mother is, because I'm also an only child. And when I went to my mother, because I'm trying to see how best I can form the words, because I know my mother is not going to handle it well. I just literally collapsed in her arms. And she said, I said, Mom, I have breast cancer. She said, no, you don't. No, absolutely not. That's rubbish. Give me the doctor's number. Why is he telling you foolishness? Nothing don't go so. And I called the doctor for her. I said, Mom, remember, I did a biopsy, so it's not guesswork. And it took some convincing her. And like 2 weeks later, I went and I did a partial radical mastectomy. That's a total removal of the left breast without taking muscle. And then I'd gone to Dr. Jackson and did a prep to see how I do my reconstruction, only to hear that I have to do radiation because of the armpit and the breast area, because I'd taken out 14 nodes because they did a nodal clearance. I'd taken out 14 nodes and 4 were positive. So I had spread underneath my arm. So that's when the true bawling started. I stood up, before I removed the breast, I stood up in the mirror for about 2 hours because I was very proud of my perky breasts. And I stood up in the mirror and I said, well, I need to make a choice. It's life or death. And so I took a decision to remove the breast, to do chemotherapy, and to do radiotherapy. I did 4 months of chemotherapy. I did 16 treatments of radiotherapy. And to date, I have no recurrences, praise Jesus. I have been living La Vida Loca. I live every moment. I don't spend any time with anybody that I don't want to spend it with. I share my story every chance I got. But I must say, 2 things made me or put me in a positive state of mind. When I told my other girlfriend, Andrea Beckford, her father was he chairman at the time, or he was involved in Jamaica Cancer Society. So right away, somebody came and counseled me from Jamaica Reach to Recovery. And then I went to the meeting. and I saw many survivors, survivors of 20 years, 15 years, 25 years. And so it kind of put my heart at rest. And then I had my doctor also, but who that did the pathology report was Dr. Alexander, who was also a survivor of both breasts. And so I was able, that mental relation with someone who been there. Because you see, when somebody who have them two breasts tell you, say, I know what you mean. No, you don't. No, you don't. And so I can totally relate with to Raquel and Kamala about going through it together because it makes a difference. And so I've been doing counseling every chance I get because my doctor, Dr. Smith, what I do, it wasn't something that we formally decided to do. But when he has newly diagnosed patients, he normally just links them with me, or if I think it's somebody else maybe better counseling that person, I put them on to Reach to Recovery. So Reach to Recovery really plays an integral part in Jamaica to women surviving. And it gave me the confidence to really push through and know that there was a possibility of survival. Because most time people talk of cancer. They talk about, oh Lord, terminal illness and that kind of thing. That is not my experience. I've seen many survivors, although I have seen many persons who have passed. Now, having said that, I want to ask Mrs. Graham, do you have, I'm not sure because I didn't tell you to prepare, but do you have any stats with the Jamaican situation? Or what are you seeing now? Are you seeing more persons coming in, more persons surviving? What is your experience now at Reach Recovery?
Well, at what we are seeing, what we have been seeing, like I even can't even talk about what is happening now, because from March we have been sort of in limbo. But prior to that, what we have been seeing is a significant number of women who have been diagnosed, not recently, but like 2 years ago, who have suddenly heard of REACH and are coming to us because they now need treatments and tests done. Now, when REACH started first, it was a slightly different organization.
Right.
It has evolved so that now what we have is a lot of women who have been to primarily KPH, the public health sector, who have been asked to they've done their surgery, they've done some chemo, they now need to do other things which they can't afford, and that is where REACH is now most actively involved. But the incidence rate of breast cancer in Jamaica is about 1 in 21 women,
Okay.
which in itself is a frightening number. But then I suppose we can feel a little good about it in that worldwide it's 1 in 8. So we are ahead of the curve as such.
Right.
But what happens now, what really worries me now, is that there are many women who are diagnosed with breast cancer who are sitting in a queue waiting to be attended to in the public health sector.
Because of
And
affordability.
yes, it's a case of affordability, but the queue is getting longer. In that, well, Dr. Roberts said recently, they try to push the cancer patients through, but then there are so many cancer patients waiting to be processed.
But
And
Caroline,
then, but
would you
cancer doesn't
say
sleep. Cancer doesn't sleep.
that is true? But would you say though our stats 1 in 21, is it is it because of reporting? Do you think we have adequate stats, or is it that
Oh,
persons are not going in for treatment, or the awareness is there, but persons are still not doing their mammograms, being diagnosed. What do you think?
Let me tell you something. There is no mammography machine in the public health sector. None. If you go to KPH and you say you have a lump and they say, okay, you need to do a mammogram, go to Cancer Society and see if they can help you. Cancer Society at the moment has a waiting list going down to about February or something next year.
Wow.
So people who are now talking about we need to get a mammogram done, it's a no-win situation. Cancer Society offers the facility at a price that is more affordable than anywhere else. And there are even some instances where I think if there's a situation of hardship, they help. But they can only do so many
So much
persons
and
in
no
a
more.
day and no
Well,
more.
when I came in 1999, myself, Hyacinth Franklin, and Icy Porter, and quite a few other ladies. Um, there was no run at the time because there was the breast cancer luncheon and there were some other events. And we thought that we had to take it to the masses. So we at the time we approached Digicel and we started a run. Now the
I
run
know
has
you
been
were,
going
no,
strong.
hold on, time out. Let me say it at this point. Sandra was one of the persons who started the run in 2000. It was 2000, wasn't it?
Yes,
Right,
yes.
there you go.
Thank you. But it really was a group. No, because I was disturbed
Mhm.
because persons who were at the luncheon, I thought, could fly to Florida and get the test done or whatever they wanted to do. These were people of means. These were mostly companies buying these tickets, and a lot of persons who were coming belonged to these companies or
Mhm.
got the tickets free. Now, I thought that the masses needed to know, and the awareness to me was not there to the general public. And so that's why this forum is good that you can now say on this platform what Reach to Recovery needs to be able to assist these women because although there are many places that do mammograms, including Cancer Society, it boils down to affordability.
Yes, it is.
Right. So I know we have a little fund that does like a little assistance here and there, but
Mhm.
it's woefully inadequate.
Woefully so.
Right.
And this year it is even more woefully so because we don't have the run this year. I mean, we've reached out to our sponsors who were participants in the last year, the last few years of the run, and some of them have responded.
Right.
But the level of funding just is not there this year. But guess what? The need has not gone down.
Well, let me put in a shameless plug for you. For persons who can and is in a position to donate to Jamaica Reach to Recovery. That's the
Mhm.
arm of the Cancer Society that deals specifically with breast cancer. As you know, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, these are the persons coming down or being inflicted with breast cancer. Now, although this program is about thriving, you can't thrive without money. So we are
Takes
trying to
care.
help our sisters. Although I keep on saying sisters,
Mhm.
men do get breast cancer as well. Maybe not as frequently as we do, but the thing is, men also have to check their breasts, their body in general, as the rest of us do. They are not immune. Men also get breast cancer. Our very favorite Mr. Ronnie Thwaites, we had already had a program in it, so that's why I can call his name.
Mhm.
He is a breast cancer survivor. right? And we have discussed it on more than one program. But it's not something that men even discuss. But that's why you need to know your body so that when you see changes in your body, any lump, any raises, any kind of changes in your breast area, you can have it checked. Now, men don't do mammograms, but certainly they can go to their doctors and have it checked.
But Sandra,
So,
we should also say, let me
yes,
interject here, that if a man feels a mass in his breast area, he is
yes,
probably in a much worse position than a woman.
right, because it's chances are it's late.
That's right.
So that's why you have to check all the time and
Mhm,
have to be aware.
mhm.
So we're gonna ask you for a Is there anybody at the desk at the secretariat?
All right. There are many ways that you can donate.
Right.
We have a website. Our website is www.jareachtorecovery at .com. Sorry, www.jareachtorecovery.com. All lowercase, all
Mm-hmm.
letters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on that website is a donate button. So you can just press the donate button and donate whatever you want to.
Right.
If that is not convenient for you and you want to actually speak with somebody, we have somebody at the secretariat. There's Miss Campbell at the secretariat. And our number at the secretariat is 876 978 0375. Let me say it again, just so that you can write it down. 876 978 0375.
Right.
And
Excellent.
we would really need assistance,
Right.
particularly this year.
Okay. Awesome.
Mhm.
So Raquel, all right. So you are now thriving 7 years. What would you say is your best advice to someone newly diagnosed?
First of all, I think counseling is one of the first steps to deal with it. After finding your team, you have to get counseling because it's not just a physical, a critical illness, it's the number one mental illness. Because you have to deal with your mind first of all. You have to prepare yourself mentally. Because the first thing that comes to mind is the
Mhm.
Lord Jesus, my dead now.
Yep.
Because
Mhm.
that is what we are told when you have
Mhm.
a critical illness, it's a doom and gloom. And that was in my book. So I got counseling, and my friend here, sometimes I will call her and say, I feel like I'm jumping off of the cliff, pull me back.
So you need support. You need a support
So
system.
in going through the journey with
Right.
support system was there, but giving me professional support at the same time. Plus, I had my other counselor with where I would have gone every week for help. So I was dealing with me. I was preparing myself mentally. So you have to have that mental support, that team, that love, that grounded you, first of all, because the medicine gonna come secondary to your preparing your
Right.
mind, first of all,
Awesome.
before you go through that.
Okay.
But you have to have
Awesome.
a
And
support team.
Kamala, no, you young and sprucey, right? So me ask you now, the dating game, how it go? Can we know say you're well? First of all, I'm not sure if you're currently single. I'm not sure. All right. So
Yes,
no,
I am
because
currently
I'm gonna
single.
tell my story, but I want you to say okay because you're 30 when you had breast cancer. So we know so the dating game don't end. So how do you approach dating and let persons and let the individual know that or what is your challenge? Is there a challenge first of all? And how do you handle dating within your current new norm?
So I don't feel like I have a particular challenge, to be honest, because I have been doing the work for 7 years of
Right.
coming to terms with life after, for me first, you know? So in the same vein of living on purpose, I believe in dating on
At
purpose.
you.
So not everybody qualify, first of all, right? And so, especially after having bucked up into a life-threatening illness, your perspectives change. You know what I mean? So, for me, single is not a bad word. For me, everything is
Hmm.
intentional and purposeful, right? And so, based on the fact that I have been called upon to share my story in several different places over the last 7 years, I feel like anybody who would want to come at me would know
Hmm.
already that I am a breast cancer survivor. And even if they do not, before meeting me, it's a big part of my story now. So I mean, I don't lead
Right.
with it, but it's definitely right up there in terms of disclosure about myself. Thankfully, too, from the level of self concept and how you feel about your new body. I before I did surgery, my general surgeon said to me that the plastic surgeon does amazing work, and he showed me photos of other women who had reconstruction and how normal they looked. And I was saying, look here, me barely have breasts. So if I go this route, me not gonna look so good. And Sandra, Althea, Caroline, I am in shock sometimes when I look in the mirror and realize that he was right. Like they have done a bang up job, right? And I know that not every woman desires reconstruction after mastectomy. That's fine. Not every woman has the option to do reconstruction because of different factors. So, I just sit in gratitude for the fact that I wanted to have what was like a close to normal body after. And thankfully that was achieved, because of the
Right.
surgeons and because of the stage and, all the factors. So for me now, there's no secrecy around it for me. I have no issues about, body image. I'm just grateful and I'm living my life. And so a partner for me will have to come alongside me with a similar
So
intentionality
you
about
don't
living
have a
life,
conversation
because
before? When do you have that? When do you have?
say
Do
again,
you
Sandra,
just simply
conversation.
assume that he knows, or do you have a conversation prior?
Oh, no, 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 no. No, it's very intentional. So there's definitely a conversation because I believe in
Right.
getting to know each other steadily and not just
Right.
run into
Right.
or crash into anything. I believe in building a
Right.
steady friendship foundation. And definitely, as I mentioned, it's a huge part of my identity now that I had the experience
Right.
and I have overcome and I'm thriving in a purposeful way. So it's a
Right.
big part of who I am. So I definitely share that
Right.
early out in that
So
space.
before I make a comment, I don't understand my audience tonight. They're extremely quiet. Is it that we're giving you all the information that you need? Because normally I have 50,000 questions already. I don't understand why my audience is so quiet tonight. They're
It's a
just
public
peeping tonight.
holiday.
It's about peeping. We don't accept peepers on this platform. We ex-
So let me
we
ask a question,
expect
Sandy.
we expect a discussion. I'm not only seeing good night and I'm only seeing claps. I don't understand why I'm not getting any questions. Anyway, let me continue. So my experience is that I am like you. I'm very public. I've always been public about my journey. But I find that my early experience of telling a potential suitor that I had or I'm a breast cancer survivor did not go over very well. And unfortunately, it happened very early in the game. So I want to address it because I know there are many young persons out there who are still in the dating world. And the truth is, because we're still friends, after the whole discussion, he had a lot of stuff going on his own. So the truth is, the problem that he was having wasn't really me. It's just that he couldn't really, in his mind, couldn't take on one more thing, I think, at the time. But I took it personal. So now that is why what Raquel said about getting counseling is extremely important because at the time I was devastated. Because when he said, I'd prefer not to deal with it. You take it personal, not even thinking about what he is going through. Because you're having this. Not that I was having a pity party, but my self-esteem got a little hit at the time, and as that's what I said, because like maybe within the year after diagnosis. So I was unprepared for that response. But I mean, it's fast forward 21 year late, what 21 years later, as you said, Kamala, it's really about you having a high self-esteem, being able to deliver the information with no issues, no expectations, no um you're just really able to deal with it because you have accepted your new norm,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big part of the whole experience.
Absolutely, Sandra.
My experience with breast cancer, I must share this very devastating part of it, although it was a very small part of my journey. Because well, everybody knows that I'm a businesswoman. And for some reason, because I normally put everything on standing order, because I don't like I, to have less things to remember. So my insurance policy, most of my insurance policies and anything I have, any loans, anything, I normally have on standing order. For some reason, I had this one particular insurance policy that I did not put on standing order. So Christmas came and I got busy and missed my payment date, and it was a every 6 month payment. This was the first now I was going to face not being able to negotiate something on a level playing field. I want you to hear me. When I got the letter to say that my policy had lapsed, because the agent didn't come to me, I forgot and the time just slipped by. So by the time I got the notification, they're saying no, I have to go and reapply or did some something. Now you know I'm a breast cancer survivor now. Well, when they told me that I couldn't just get it reinstated because I'm a breast cancer survivor, I took to bed. This was when I knew that I needed counseling because
Yeah.
we take a lot for granted.
Mhm.
There was nothing that I could physically do to change my circumstances. It
Mm-hmm.
was done.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was so incensed, she went as far as to the top of the company because this was a policy that I had like about 12 years. I tell you, I took to bed for about 2 weeks
Wow.
because this told me now that I was no longer quote unquote normal.
Yeah.
And there are certain things like these things that will pop up in your life
Mhm.
that will make you feel different, as if you are different from others. So I said to myself, oh, this is how persons with probably a disability feel, or persons, because there's nothing that I could do.
Could go about it.
There's nothing that I could do to change the fact that this was my new norm. And so I had to get counseling because I was devastated. Because it's like, no, this thing was now facing me. I am a breast cancer survivor. I am a cancer survivor. Going forward, there are some things that I'm no longer able to get,
Yeah.
like that type of insurance.
Mhm.
And so I tell this story to say it's not the end of the world because later on I took out investment policy,
Yeah.
insurance, borrow money off it, and all of these things because the period is really only 5 years.
Yes.
After that, you can get where you want to get. But there is a period, I like to say to people, the treatment and everything, going through the actual treatment and the actual survival of breast cancer is one thing. But living every day, every week, every month, every year, having to do your tests every year and to get a clean bill of health is a process
Yes.
every year.
Mhm.
You have to swallow your prayer, you promise Jesus, you negotiate with God and all these things before you go in to do your yearly examinations
And
because
there's
you're
ways to
afraid
get
of
it done.
recurrences. But the
That's right.
truth is, that does not stop you from living la
Mhm.
vida loca,
Yep.
Yeah.
as all of us have been doing.
Mhm.
It is a choice. Kamal and myself and Raquel, because we don't talk every day, Caroline, but we talk and we say happiness is a choice.
Yep.
We choose happiness, we choose life. And so, as a whether it is a breast cancer survivor or any cancer or any illness whatsoever, whatever survivor you are, it is a choice to live your life on purpose, happily, doing what you do, not waste time with waste people,
Mm-mm.
right? Spend
Say it
time
again.
wisely,
Say it again.
right? Right? The thing is, don't wait for a diagnosis
To live.
to live like that,
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm.
Well said.
right?
But the,
And that's
the
what we
truth
want to
is,
share here. We got our wake up call. We sharing our wake up call with you. You don't need a reason to live well.
I,
Exercise have to do. No excuses. Eat well have to go on. No excuses. Right?
Self care.
Self
Other
care.
types of self care, emotional self care, knowing how to take breaks.
Right.
Mhm.
Stress free life. Although COVID trying to take the stress and put it to another level, but we not take it on.
But we have been through our own pandemic already. So this is
Absolutely.
our second wave of
But
pandemic.
everybody gets something.
Yes.
Mhm.
But and everybody have to deal with whatever it is that they get. We
Yes.
got breast cancer,
I think
but
it's
the
true to
operative
say
word
though.
is got
I
Hmm.
think it's
Yes.
true to say
history.
though that
Yes.
let me
What you
just
saying,
add.
Caroline?
I think it's true to say though that what breast cancer did for me was suddenly make life that much more
It took off
important.
the rose
It
tinted
took out
glasses.
a whole new thing, you know. Every day you wake up and you say, "Thank God, it's a brand new day."
Absolutely. And so that's what we're saying. We are sharing our story and we are saying to you, don't wait on a wake up call.
Mm-mm.
Patrice, hear me, Patrice. No, that's your Lotus name. Kamala,
Please answer your name, please.
your purpose driven life. Tell us how you was that before or after breast cancer? Did that start before or
It's
as a
quite
result of breast cancer you took this path? And tell us a little bit about that whole part of your life because you are doing some awesome work, you
thank you.
know, with mental wellness and spiritual wellness, So tell us a little bit about that because sometimes we pivot not only because of COVID, but sometimes we pivot because of events in our life.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
just tell us a little bit about what you're doing now and share with us that we can and give us your handles so that we can support you.
Thank you so much for that, Sandra. So, living purposefully was a part of my life before, but it wasn't so, so much of a focus until the breast cancer journey. So, what happened for me was before I got back, as Althea mentioned, before I got back the results of things like the bone scan to know if the cancer had spread to any other part of my body, I was in a state where I was literally unsure of the prognosis. I did not know much. I just know that there is cancer in my body. I don't know if it's spread to brain, spine, whatever. So I had to come to terms with something that I don't know if many people even like hearing me say it. I had to come to terms with the reality of my mortality,
Of
which is the fact
course.
that I am not going to be here forever. And some people not even like hear that because them feel like if you say it, you attract death to yourself or all these things,
Mm-mm.
right? And that's the reason why many people don't even prioritize things like having a will or health insurance or life insurance. So for me, I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm going to be here for a certain number of years.
Right.
And that's when the reality of using all that I have to serve others and to live my best life, that's when it really hit me. Like,
Hmm.
Kamala, suppose you only have a year left. Have you done all the things that have been in your heart to do? Have you helped as much? Have you built? Have you created? Have you shared? And so that's when I really started to look into all of my giftings, my training, my ability, like all of what I thought were my resources. So trained as a psychologist, was working in that field already, and decided, well, so many people are there who need to hear things about self-love.
Hmm.
I kind of focus on relationships, not because it's sexy or romantic, but because of the fact that relationships affect so many other areas of life, right?
Yes.
Not only for the people in the relationship, but the children that they have out of that relationship, right? And so children grow up seeing abuse or feeling neglected or feeling unloved. Like I ended up battling with that for a big part of my life. I felt like because my father was absent, there was something wrong with me. And so I started to do
Lord,
work.
we love the whole of women love. Lola way.
I started to the work in that area to just use that, use those skills, Sandra, and specifically to want to make it more relatable. So many people know a psychologist, but I want psychology to be something that everybody can understand. And so I started to share the specifics of my journey more and more and more. And so now I use Instagram, I use Zoom is like everybody's back pocket tool now. I use those spaces to have conversations with
Right.
people about stepping into your best life and being as well as you can, not only physically but emotionally and spiritually. So on Instagram you can find me at White Lotus Blooms, because my first name Kamala actually means lotus, so lotus is everywhere, right? So at White
Okay.
Lotus Blooms is one of the handles. And recently I was grateful to partner with JN. Alfie and I have had
Yes,
this
I saw
very
it was fabulous. I see it spread out all over the newspaper.
And I have had
I'm
this
so
baby
proud of you.
carry. Thank you. For years
Okay.
now, since we started our journey, we
Yes.
Yes.
realized that we had the benefit of health insurance, thanks be to God. And we literally tear out our hair and say, suppose we never have this, like what would happen to us?
Right.
And so we've always had this concern about women and men and families who don't have the benefit of insurance and are going through these very hefty medical bills. So for years now, we've been sending proposals to many corporate companies, getting one heap of no, but we persisted. And
Right.
last year, thankfully, out of a relationship, JN said we will sponsor this campaign.
Awesome.
And so we have seven
Big up
women.
Jen.
Big up JN. We have
Mhm.
seven women on the campaign, one of whom passed away actually earlier this year. It was devastating to all of us,
Wow.
right? And so we are now supporting, another woman who passed before the campaign got off the ground as well, supporting her son, just because we want you know, to do that. So this is purpose work for me, and I
Yes.
feel inspired to keep it going.
Well, I personally feel that these are some of the things that extend your life. You know, you talk about thinking about the end. Well, I live every day as if it's my last. Me done every day. Every time that I blog and I tell people that when I pass from this earth. No one should cry, because my life shall resemble a sucked out back juice. Not no left. Not juice, not ice, not no leave in a bag. You know, you suck out the sky juice, nothing don't leave. Because I live it till it done.
It bulk.
Right? It buck. Right? So there should be no tears, and if it's tears of joy.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, I have been living on purpose. I mean, before diagnosis, I was a workaholic. Still a workaholic to a certain extent, but not really. Because before then, I didn't take breaks. I thought if I wasn't there, the billing would have
True.
dropped down. Customer them would have gone. Business would have spoiled, and all of these things. But it's because you are sometimes living a life where you think you are superwoman, and because you're, well, I can't speak for myself, because you're single, you just work, and there's nothing else really to do. But the truth is, there was so much to do. There was a lot to do. And I have done so much work in my community through Total Email and personally since then. Rax, I know you have also done several things through your business. I know you have done many years of treating breast cancer survivors for the month of October.
Yeah.
And you see all these silent little heroes on
Yeah.
Heroes Day, all these silent little heroes doing all this work, Carolynd, Kamala, Raquel, and several others. Tara been doing work, I mean, for breast cancer survivors. And there are many others, many others, and too numerous to mention. But it really, having faced, I would say, I don't want to say death's door. What should I say now? Having been
Having,
faced
having been
with
forced
my
to face your
with
It's in the
mortality.
with
face,
my
Sandy.
mortality. Yes, the English version. Having been faced with my mortality, and you say no, say I could have dead left the business and either it lock or somebody buy it and continue it, but it would have continued without me or not.
True.
And so you said to yourself, well, having been given, I call it my second chance, I'm on my second life, mega done it. Simple. So let's tell
That,
us a little bit about what you are doing now, Raquel. Anything new in the pipeline? Because I know you're a girl. Every time I don't see you, you're up to something else.
Well, Sandy, when I
By
was
the way,
diagnosed,
Raquel has a salon, this
yes,
salon
yes,
by
at
Eden
the
Gardens,
time when I
doing
was
fabulous
diagnosed,
work. But let me plug you
yeah,
first. Doing fabulous work and has done a lot of work in Breast Cancer Month.
yes,
And so Raquel is one of those warriors who she didn't just take it on for herself. She took it on for, excuse me, herself and others. So go on now, Raquel.
yes, you're so right, Sandy, because I've been helping with the Cancer Society for a little over 15 years. I give my service
So
there.
even before your
Even
diagnosis.
before my diagnosis and my sister, I volunteer, and so I'm always helping, because I remember maybe about, when do I met you, Sandy? In 19 before 95.
Lord, man, we ball on my age for a little miss.
I know it. We're rubbing age, but sisters.
Yeah.
When you were
Long
at
time.
Montrose.
Yes, long
Okay,
time. That's
okay. So
1994.
okay, so a little bit after that, I start helping at Cancer Society with my association of hairdressers and cosmetologists. So we will volunteer in this month. We just finished cosmetologist week. So we will go and we will help women who have survived breast cancer or some form of breast cancer most of the time. But what I was seeing, Sandy, back then, their scalp was so dehydrated. So when I get the chance to do a case study on alopecia areata and also get a study at Bosley International. So at the time when I was doing the study at Bosley, they were doing a cold cap that will keep your hair on your head if you're going through chemo. So I get a chance to develop a product that would help to soothe the scalp at that time.
Okay.
But when I really get to fine tune that product, really and truly, is when I was going through breast cancer. Because I could only speak from my experience. Because I tried a cold cap on my head when I was doing the chemo. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. But when I start losing the hair, we start getting our scalp become so dehydrated and so stiff. I couldn't rest my head on a pillow because it felt like my scalp was going to just open up. So I called a chemist and I asked her to fine tune the product to help soothe the scalp of a woman who or men or anyone that's going through any form of cancer that's going through chemotherapy. Because the first cells that the drug target is the hair cells.
Okay.
Because the hair cells is one of the fastest growing cells in the body. So they act like a foreign invader in the system. So it tells it, go. So during that time now, she started to fine tune that product for the scalp, which have a pH of about 5. And it is as gentle as a child that is a baby that is born and had cradle cap. It is that gentle, and they can use on a newborn baby to remove a cradle cap off the head. So that is what I started to develop and fine tune better when I was
That's
going
awesome.
through breast cancer. So Kamala had have experience of when she was growing back her hair, she had some hair loss and used the product to regrow our hair and to soothe the scalp. What it does is to regulate and also block DHT. That's a particular hormone called dihydrotestosterone hormone that affect women and men that have androgenic alopecia or male pattern or female pattern baldness. Because when that occur, it makes the scalp become really dry and feel like you are going through, let's say for instance, you have an injury and it becomes very stiff or sparks. So that's what I'm doing right now. So the product is on the market and is doing very, 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 very well. Plus, I'm help to fine tune the right now we're doing the standard for the beauty industry. So I have a lot of things in the pipeline with UCJ, and I get the opportunity to help with City and Guilds in London, and also we're just finishing up with Andrina, my best friend, who asked me to help with the with some programs for, I think is Heart Trust NTA. So
Okay.
I'm in the back still working, volunteering still, helping women. Kamala and I, helping those women to get through their journey, because I call it happy stick, because when you don't have the help, and she taught me something some time ago. You have to meet women or anyone you're trying to help. You need to find out what kind of help do you want, meet
Right.
them where they want to be met, and
Right.
so it's not just because of breast cancer why I'm doing this. Sometimes when you have gone through your own journey, you can relate better to others who really need
Absolutely.
help and not just financial help sometimes. Because if I'm going through a particular situation, I can call you or her and say to her, this is what I'm feeling.
Right.
Am I going crazy? Because I still have memory loss, same way.
Hmm.
Um, and I try to tell people that I don't hold on to things. And this taught me because I don't have the space in my brain to try to remember things like happened last week. I'm done with it after 24 hours
Right.
because I want today to be
Yeah,
fulfilling.
yeah, you need to clear out to put in more new things.
New things for today. The purpose. I'm living for a purpose. I'm living on a purpose. So I don't have
Kemo, Kemo is asking if the product is sold online.
It is sold online and it also it's in Mobay and it's in Kingston at 39 Lady
Can you
Bus. Road.
Can you say where online can you get it?
So you can get it at www.thesalonja.com.
What's the name of the product?
What's the name of the product?
The Salon Essential. The Salon Essentials.
Okay.
Yes.
No, it's the first night in over 20 odd programs that I have not had one, apart from is the product. So no one has any questions on breast cancer, nothing at all. We give you all the information that you need. Seriously, it's so
Clearly,
good. High five, ladies. It's so good. Eh? High five. It's,
clearly.
we good bad. Eh? Not a question. Come on, no questions on breast cancer. Just the product. Or you joined late. Well, you can watch the replay when it's posted online. But you know these ladies and Carolynd, I wanna. Is there anything else happening for the month of October for Jamaica Reach to Recovery? Anything at all, or is just donating this year? Because nothing else could be planned.
Nothing else could be planned. We really
Okay.
are, well, we're selling masks. We have done some masks which we are selling.
Yes.
And
Oh,
they're really pretty. They're pink and they're black and they have our embroidery on the side. And I'm
okay. So
sorry I don't have one to show
well,
you.
I will come and get mine, and then
Yeah.
I can show it online for you. Only, what about pins? Any pins this year?
We had pins, but we weren't sure how many pins to bring in because of the COVID situation.
Yeah, get it.
People losing their jobs, and I figured not many persons would have disposable income and things. So I didn't want to bring
No,
in a
so
whole
everybody have
pile
a
of
pin
things.
money, man. Everybody have a pin
Everybody
money.
has money every year, every year.
Everybody have a pin money
And
Well,
I'm seeing
because
quite a few
everybody has
people.
been touched by breast cancer. Trust me.
true. But we
Every
You
brought
know.
in pins, but I'm not sure how many are still there. We brought
Okay.
the ones,
But they
with the
can call
running
Cancer
shoes on.
Society and then reach the recovery at the number that you gave,
Yes,
which I will ensure that I post when I'm reposting the
right.
video.
So we have
But
pins and we have masks.
right. Oh, lovely. All right. So um let me say one more time before we close off. Going, gone. We're giving you an opportunity to ask some questions. You have four stalwarts here, Now, where else we find four fantastic, fabulous, thriving breast cancer survivors who love life, do it, been there, done that, not doing it again, kind of ladies.
Yep.
Nobody
Living
has
life to the
any,
fullest.
I'm saying, I bring these wonderful persons here and no questions at all. I can't believe it. We must have told you everything.
Yeah, we were very good.
Ladies, did I cover everything? Is there anything, Kamala? So, okay. So, since no one wants to ask any questions, right? So, on our way out, and I'm going to start from the bottom up, and then I will finish. Kamala, give me, my five. I'm a five girl. So, five takeaways are five things that you would want to share with the audience, having experienced, having gone through, having thrived from, having that aha moment, having that awakening, having this privilege of living on purpose. Give me five takeaways that you'd like to share with our audience.
So I'm going to start with the most practical about the actual breast cancer experience. Number one, nobody is exempt. And I know that's an uncomfortable truth because we like to feel like, well, nobody in my family have that, so that can't reach me, or other things. So number one, nobody's exempt. My surgeon told me that one of his first patients who had breast cancer was 14 years old, one four.
Yes,
So despite your protective factors, you could still have risk factors. So do the examinations. So when we show up in conversations, Sandra, I say to people, don't just listen to me and nod and say powerful. Do something with the
right.
information.
Absolutely.
So do practice your breast self checks. And thankfully for me, there was an itch, right? Suppose there wasn't an itch, I would have not been checking myself, and it could have spread, and it could have been a
Because you're saying you say you're 30. You're not ready for that yet.
Exactly. So number one is it can happen to anybody, literally anybody, right? So that's number one. Number two, support is everything. And I think it was a sign for me that I was diagnosed on the birthday of one of my best friends. And I ended chemo on the birthday of my other best friend. Right? So for me, it was like a sign like support is everything, right? Thirdly, I will say I always wanted larger breasts. I prayed to God to have larger breasts. And so the fact, like I would say, God, even I seek up Jesus. The fact the fact that breast cancer came my way years after praying those prayers did make me wonder, is it because I, did not extend enough love to this area of my body? And it could be a very extreme way of thinking about it, but I feel as though there is a lesson there that our bodies respond to the things that we tell it. You understand?
Yes.
The mind body connection is real.
Mhm.
So I want to encourage everybody to practice loving on yourself as a daily practice. Number four, I will say set up some good boundaries around your life. And Sandra made a joke about it earlier about the waste people. Not everything is good for us, so let us practice how to say no lovingly to what's
Absolutely.
not good for
No,
us.
no, no, it's not only to drugs.
Thank you very much. You understand? Let us practice to say no to things that are not good for us and may
Yeah.
and eventually can become a habit. And finally, I will say I believe that I was created for a reason. And so I'm in constant pursuit of fulfilling that reason. I'm encouraging everybody who's listening to look into their lives in the same way. What do you do well? What makes you feel most alive and do more of that?
Awesome. Raquel?
So my first one is self-examination. Don't push it away because you have to insist. You feel something and it don't feel like the norm, get it checked out. Because I have to ask 5, 6 times before they get to it. And I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. Okay? Only you know your body. You only can tell your doctor your symptoms, and they gather their information from that to draw a conclusion. Okay? Stay positive through a journey like this, because when you start harbor unnecessary things in your head, that is what going to derail you from everything else.
Absolutely.
Don't say it is somebody doing something. Crap. You feel the difference. So don't harbor no negativity in yourself, and support from your friends and your family. Don't let nobody body shame you, because before Dr. Jackson passed away, I went to him after having my third kid, and I asked for breast implant, and him tell me, no, Althea, man, you're one of the strangest women to have keloid on the breast. So I show it off. So if I have gotten breast implant from then, maybe I would have gone with all the tissues of the breast. So I wouldn't have had breast cancer. But yeah, lucky, that's how it's supposed to go. I never asked myself why me. I asked what next. Okay.
Mhm.
In life, there's no coincidence. Um, and then wherever you can help others, just keep your eyes on that prize, because how can you say you love God, but you can't love the person that is next door? You don't know this being, but you love him so much, but you can't love Sandra, you can't love Kamala. But when you find that you have that self love for yourself, it eases spill over on others. Okay. And I'm just grateful. I'm so truly grateful, and I'm living my best life now.
Awesome.
And I wouldn't live with the ups and downs that I have gone through. I wouldn't live my life any different than how I'm living it today. If I have to live it again, I'm going to live it with cancer again to get to this stage,
Awesome.
because I am grateful. So that's
Awesome.
my five. My five.
Okay.
Hashtag grateful.
Caroline?
You know, at this point, I should probably say ditto, 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 ditto.
I will go do that.
No, but the truth is that what I want people to understand is that a diagnosis of cancer is not a death sentence.
Absolutely.
It is a bump in the road,
Yes.
and you do what you have to do and you move on. I firmly believe that my breast cancer experience was a divine intervention, something that made me stop and really understand life, how important life is, and to be able to share this with other persons, to make others benefit from the road that I have been down. It's really a case of thank you, Lord, for having put me in this position so that I can give back.
Yes.
Um, it's been a faith journey. There are times when you stop and you say, but Lord, why you put me here? And then you say, well, you know why you did it.
Mhm.
So let's just move on with it. So I'm thankful for all that has happened. I have no real regrets because to me, regrets will be flying in the face of,
Right.
of what I have been, the role that I have been given. And I'm just thankful and living life one day at a time and enjoying the life that I have.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you. And I can just say ditto and say good night. But you know, me have to have the last word. No, my five that I would say that I know I speak for all of you is early detection is key. Follow your belly, follow your gut. Your health is your responsibility.
Mhm.
So if you know, because sometimes we know something wrong, but out of fear, we don't want to go to the doctor because we don't want to hear what the doctor have to say and yada yada yada. But fear kills, eh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I followed fear, I would not have asked the doctor to do further testing because I could have gotten up off the table and gone home, and then I wouldn't be here talking to you looking cute, right? And so you have to make a choice whether to live or to die. I took that choice and I didn't take that choice lightly. So having made the choice to live and bargaining with God and saying, no, if you make me live, God, I do your work. That was, those were not loose statements on my part. That was a commitment on my part to do as much as I can with the time that I have. So I don't waste time. Procrastination is a thief, almost a thief. But is a thief, yes? Right? Procrastination is a thief. And another thing, exercise, diet,
Yeah.
peace, internal peace and happiness, clean heart, no bad mind around here. Those things keep me above the fray. I'm not asking, I'm telling. I hardly get even a flu because I try my best to, the word is live clean. And live clean don't just mean eat clean.
Mhm.
It's a struggle with the exercise, but may I do it. It's a struggle with the diet, but me doing it. Nobody's perfect. We're not asking for perfection. We're asking to try and make yourself a priority. Many women who are the leaders of their families, because a lot of households are void of men. And so we believe that we have to do everything and everybody comes before us. One cannot pour from an empty vessel. Let me say that again.
That's true.
One cannot pour from an empty vessel. So, on the plane where it says you put on your mask first,
Mhm.
You take care of self first, then you take care of the rest of the family. How much we gone? About four? And last but no means least, share your life.
Yes.
Some people tell me I'm talking my business too much. But I don't know sometimes who I'm helping.
True.
And I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. But I know because I feel it inside of me that someone needs to get this information.
Yeah.
And so although you may not have joined, or maybe you join and peeping, and maybe you have a lump and afraid to go to the doctor, you can call, send us a little, send me in my send a message in my inbox if you want to ask me privately. My page is Samuel Sandra, right? Or my email is samuelsandra@hotmail.com. Or you can find Raquel at the salon, or Kamala gave you her information. Just go through the video again. Reach to Recovery is there to also assist, and is source of survivor down at Reach to Recovery, right? And we have a wealth of information. I don't want to say more than the doctors, but the
We have
doctors don't live.
experience.
The doctors don't live our life,
Nope.
No,
and the doctors
Lived
have not had
experience.
our experience. We have
that's
had it,
right.
and we're the best person to tell you, right? So out of the four of us, whichever is cuter, one of us must can help. Fun and joke aside, I'm just joking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One of us will be able. Well, Kamala is skilled in this area.
Yeah.
When she tell you something, you feel like you're done cure already,
Uh,
right? So, as a as a what is your title? It's a
Psychologist.
psychologist, psychologist, right? Right. So
Yes.
she get training for it.
mm-hmm.
My one thing is, do not procrastinate.
Yeah.
Time is of the essence. Breast cancer, any cancer, is time sensitive. I am not against natural healing and natural products and natural thing and natural thing. However, those things take time to rebuild your system, for it to work. So maybe I want to go, if you're already diagnosed, maybe you want to try the medical way, and then in sustainability, you go the healthy route. Because it's not that I've heard of persons that have taken themselves off of, or have not done any treatment and have not done any medication and survive, but not everybody have the same luck,
Look,
right? Just saying that, just throwing that out. But whatever is you are comfortable with, but you must do something to save your life.
Yes.
You must. We are here as living proof that early detection is key to survival. Treatment, doing your treatment as per diagnosis and as per what the doctor says, can work, is working, did work. That's not to say that somebody cannot develop a new tumor somewhere else, but we have banned it from our body and it's not coming back anywhere here. So,
In
mm-mm,
right?
Jesus' name.
No, we have knocked it and we're not accepting anything back. And now we know better, we do better,
Yes.
right? Kemoy says, once you have breast cancer, does that automatically mean you lose the or your nipple if they have removed cancer? Okay, I can answer that question. If your breast is big enough and the lump is small, Depend if you have done a lumpectomy, then they can do a nipple sparing, because meaning that you don't have spread in the nipple area. If your breast is small and there's not much to remove and nip and tuck, chances are they'll remove the entire breast. If you have it in your family, chances are they may not want to chance to do any skin sparing surgeries, but then things have improved so much in the last how many years. Anything is possible these days. But the thing is to have that discussion with your doctor and to ensure that you are comfortable with your decision.
Yes.
That is the bottom line. You must be comfortable with your decision. So what I did, myself and my friends, because it does take a village, and I must big up my friend them, because they were there for me every step of the way. Big up my family, they were there for me every step of the way. My staff, my customers. It really takes a village,
Yep.
you know? And so anything that you're going to do, read upon it, research it. The doctor is not God. He does not know everything. If you need to get a second opinion, get a second opinion
Yes.
so that you are comfortable with your decision,
Yes.
right? So it's the end of our program. We're almost 2 hours. Can you imagine? I know
Wow.
you're going to watch it, and I know a lot of people are peeping and not contributing, but we don't mind peeping. You can contact us privately if you wish, because I know some people are shy and don't want to ask online. But that's okay. We don't mind, as long as you get the treatment that you need or get the help that you need. And we didn't touch on caregivers, but you are a major part of the recovery as well. You caregivers that support us, right? Whether it's mother, husband, children, that are the ones that are instrumental in keeping us sane, because really and truly it's a lot of mental pressure, but really and truly it's up to you to have that full recovery and to seek the help that you need. Ladies, it's been another special evening. Kamala, as usual, you're my girl, you're my sister friend, you're my family, sister in every way. Rax, you know me, I am a sister, me, I'm a brethren from long time, right? Thank you so much for sharing, ladies. Carolynd, boy, you're a tower of strength. Keep on doing the work that you're doing. You are doing yeoman service at Reach to Recovery. I don't know what we would do without you. We do not take you for granted, right? You are deeply, deeply, deeply appreciated. You are a quiet giant. Not many people may know you because you work behind the scenes, but you are doing a lot of very important work, and we appreciate it. And as we said, nothing happened by chance. If give it, we were brought into this um, mission because Father knows we can handle it, and we use our strength and our, is the word notoriety, our popularity, our charisma,
Or influence.
our influence. We're influencers
Mm-hmm.
to let people know that breast cancer is not a death sentence. And with that, I say good night to my friends and my audience, my viewers, my YouTube friends, my Facebook friends, my Instagram friends. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Next week, we have another interesting program, hoping to have some young people talking about dating in the 21st century and how they're managing with the texting and the sexting. We have to speak to the young uns to find out what's going on out there. So next, and then the following week, we're going to be speaking on entrepreneurship with the wonderful Harold Davis. and Sandra, oh my gosh, my brain went blank.
Glasgow.
Glasgow. And Sandra Glasgow. So you don't want to miss that either. So ladies, Kamala McWhinney, Raquel Lawla, and Carolynd Graham, thank you so much for joining me on this very wonderful program, sharing your journey on your thriving and surviving breast cancer. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Thank you for
And
having
may
me.
your
Thank you.
days be full of nothing but happiness.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night, folks.
Night.
Night.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.